What up, guys? I am going to be counting down my top 5 least favorite SpongeBob specials. I have seen a few people count down the specials, and most people say SpongeBob You're Fired is their least favorites. And guess what? It's mine too. So I'll be ranting this episode once I count down these. Number 5, Atlantis Squarepantis. To be honest, I actually don't hate this episode as much as others do. I find a few scenes kind of interesting. I really like the fight scene at the end. The fight scene at the end is a little bit clever, but to get to that point just feels like forever. The Patchy segments are strange and go on too long. At least he doesn't sing an awkward song. And I also really love the song from Pie Guy Rules. Pie Guy Rules, I love you. You're one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. Stay cool. Besides, most of their songs are bullcrap. These songs like Goodbye Atlantis, all of their songs they were singing while they were on that bus, and also that bubble song at the beginning, all of these songs are just horrible. And this episode is nothing but a boring ripoff of Willy Wonka. And the guy who had the voice of Lord Royal Highness, he did a pretty good job voicing him, but he was kind of annoying at times. Well, the only songs I actually thought weren't too bad, I liked Plankton's song, and I actually liked the song, the song about You Gotta Believe from the Encino. The Patchy segments actually aren't too bad. They are really boring. Probably the most boring Patchy segments of the show. But Patchy actually wasn't too bad here. I did like the Encino song. But I only liked 2 songs from the special. And the rest are nothing but BS. Easily a SpongeBob special. At number 4 is one of the specials that we don't see every day. The Legends of Bikini Bottom. This one had to be the biggest ratings trap of the show. We have The Monster Who Came to Bikini Bottom, Welcome to the Bikini Bottom Triangle, The Curse of the Hex, The Main Drain, Trench Billies, and Sponge Kano. All of these episodes from this special sucked majorly. The 2 specials I didn't really find that I consider off-putting or something like that. Welcome to the Bikini Bottom Triangle and Sponge Kano were kind of interesting. But still, ones like The Main Drain and Trench Billies. Trench Billies was really disgusting and creepy. The Main Drain was nothing but filler that doesn't even make sense. And the ending on The Main Drain made no sense either, because Patrick thought it was a bedtime story, which really, really sucked. But still, The Legends of Bikini Bottom, still a really awful special that never existed. At number 3 is one of the other ratings traps that I consider horrible, the Clash of Triton. This is one of my least favorite Season 6 episodes. I don't think anyone likes this special, and I'm pretty happy about that. But whoever likes any of these specials, I respect your opinion. But the Clash of Triton is just horribly done. It has really poor execution. The scene where if SpongeBob was a god was nothing but filler. And the whole entire special is nothing but a filler to me. And this episode is nothing but a sad little soap opera-y kind of special. And also, the whole entire episode is not done correctly. Most of this episode is basically where Neptune is sad because Triton isn't here to celebrate his birthday. Which is really, really stupid because the title is pretty wrong. There were a few parts that do match, like Triton destroying Bikini Bottom, but the ending is really stupid because Neptune was proud of Triton destroying Bikini Bottom. Yes, I know, Neptune and Triton are jerks, but still, yeah, Sebastian Bach, he was the voice of Triton, and I agree with 22 Tiger Dude. Triton was annoying. He was so obnoxious. I had a headache from his annoying voice. He was like, "Get me out of this cage, man." I was like, "Shut your mouth." Yeah, this special ticked me off in some way that the other specials didn't. So yeah, this is still a really bad special. At number 2 is Whatever Happened to SpongeBob. This is my personal least favorite special, but I did like the part where SpongeBob became mayor of New Kelp City. But still, there are way too many problems this episode had. But still, Pie Guy Rules doesn't hate this episode as much as others do. I respect your opinion. But still, I still think this is my second least favorite season 5 episode, because Whatever Happened to SpongeBob is one of my least favorite specials, mainly because it is a major ripoff of Have You Seen the Snail? We have seen others feel guilty of others and try to help them get them back. We've seen this in Have You Seen the Snail? Have You Seen the Snail is my favorite post-movie episode, and easily my favorite special. And Whatever Happened to SpongeBob just took it and just tore it into shreds, which really pisses me off. But still, what is really bad about this special, because everyone keeps calling SpongeBob Idiot Boy, and they hurt his feelings. That is just so wrong, and the way SpongeBob feels miserable is just so depressing. So SpongeBob decided to run away, and then he gets amnesia by falling off of a cliff. And the rest of this episode is just boring and really disturbing. And I did kind of find the fight scene with the bubble popping boys kind of interesting, but it's pretty stupid and lame at the same time. And when SpongeBob became mayor, it was clever, but it was so clever it started to become pretty stupid in the end. And then SpongeBob finally gets back to the Krusty Krab. He still loses his memory, and then suddenly he gets it back, and then some of this episode has Squidward getting tortured, which I do kind of like, because Squidward was a asshole in this episode. Squidward was really dislikable. He called SpongeBob Idiot Boy for no reason, and while Sandy, Patrick, and Mr. Krabs are crying, Squidward was laughing hysterically. And it's just really stupid. This is one of my least favorite SpongeBob episodes I've ever seen. And I have seen worse. But still, here comes my least favorite post-movie. No, not my post-movie episode, but this is my least favorite season 9 episode. Wait a second. Little Yellow Book's my least favorite season 9 episode. What am I thinking? But still, my least favorite special is SpongeBob, You're Fired. And I can see why. This episode starts off with just about 2 to 3 minutes of filler. And then suddenly, Mr. Krabs fires SpongeBob. And guess what? He fires him over a nickel. He would save a whole nickel when he fires him. Are you kidding me, Mr. Krabs? That had to be one of the stupidest scenes that a special can ever have. First, we have terrible songs in Atlantis Squarepantis. We have very boring episodes from Legends of Bikini Bottom. We have some fetish scenes in the Clash of Triton. Then we have a ripoff of Have You Seen the Snail and Whatever Happened to SpongeBob. And then we have cheap old Mr. Krabs and this train wreck. Then SpongeBob starts crying like a little baby for just about over a minute. And yeah, I do kind of feel bad for SpongeBob because of how poorly Mr. Krabs treated him. And I was about to give him credit when he said, "You know, I love you like a son," but then when he said, "You can't bother with a nickel," I was like, yep, I still hate him. But then suddenly, SpongeBob goes home and starts to break into tears, but the only good thing from this episode is Gary. And there was one episode called You Don't Know Sponge, where SpongeBob started to cry, and Gary becomes annoyed. But in SpongeBob, You're Fired, Gary was actually nice to him, which is kind of good, but the rest just fell absolutely flat. We have nothing but SpongeBob unshaven, depressed in his own misery throughout the first half of the episode. Similar to what Are You Happy Now? And yes, we've seen unshaven beards and pre-movie episodes like Club SpongeBob, but Club SpongeBob is one of my favorite episodes of the show, and it turned out to be funny. But SpongeBob You're Fired had poor execution, too much filler, Krabs being a complete idiot, and SpongeBob being depressed throughout most of the episode. And SpongeBob becomes fired most of the time, where he gets fired at a hot dog place, pizza place, taco place, and a noodle place. We have seen this episode in Model Sponge, for Christ's sakes. My goodness. This episode just rips off too many episodes. We've seen him fired in Squid on Strike. We have seen him fired in Karate Choppers. And so many different episodes. Oh my golly. Oh my gosh. This episode is abysmal. And it is clearly a SpongeBob episode. And there were a few specials that came close, like SpongeBob versus the Big One was about to become number 5. But thanks to Atlantis Squarepantis songs, ended up starting to make the list. But however, I still think SpongeBob You're Fired was a complete abomination. Yeah, just like that pizza guy says. It's an abomination. No, it's not, you idiot. The whole entire special is one. So, let's say we have combined these 4 specials and mix them all together into one big special. That turned out to be so infuriating, I just felt like the show was never the same. This is very un-SpongeBob-like. Just like how Pie Guy Rules thinks of Spongehenge. So yes, SpongeBob You're Fired made me think that this show was never the same. But I did watch others like Safe Deposit Crabs and Larry's Gym, and they ended up improving big time. But still, I still thought SpongeBob You're Fired is my current least favorite special of the whole entire series. Thank you so much for tuning in into my video. Please comment down below, share, and subscribe to see what is your least favorite special. I'll see y'all next time.